everybody, I am back with another video, and before I get started with this review here, I want to say thanks for stopping by. And if this is your first time here, if you haven't done so already, make sure you do the right thing and hit the subscribe button below. And if you enjoyed the video, then give your girl a thumbs up. Alright, so let's get it. So I have this matte black box here. It has the Nike and the swoosh on the top lid in red, and this is a size 4. Which is my size, so let's take a look inside. This is the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG in the Shadow 2.0 colorway, and these kind of look familiar, but at the same time they don't, which is so interesting to me. So these Shadow 2.0s released in May 2021, and the colorway was adapted from the Shadow 1.0s that originally released in 1985, and then they were retroed in 2013 and then again in 2018. And that's when I picked up my first pair of Shadow 1s, which you'll see in a little bit when I do my comparison between the Shadow 1.0s versus these 2.0s here, because there are some major differences such as the color blocking, the materials, and even the colors are different. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's take a look at this shoe here. So these were picked up during an early access on the Sneakers app. And for my subscribers out there, and if you didn't know, if you ever have early access, you're able to pick up every size tier available. So one of my buddies had early access, so he picked up his men's size, and then so he picked up a GS size for me, which is super dope.
I appreciate you.
So these released in May, and I think early access was in April, which is exactly 3 years from when I last caught my Shadow 1.0s, which is a fun fact, right? And so obviously we're not in April or May, we're in August now, and I finally got around to picking up these shoes to review them. And so better late than never, right? So let's go to some details. When I first opened the box, the thing I noticed the most was the smell of the shoe. It smells so bad to me. I can't tell if it's a genuine leather, the nubuck, the glue, or even the manufacturer smell, but it's so strong. But I'm just gonna have to power through and just review this as fast as possible, right? So for the upper of the shoe, there's 2 different materials going on. It's either leather or nubuck. So for the toe cap, mudguard, eye stays, ankle collar, heel, and swoosh is made out of nubuck in that light shade of gray, and the official color is light smoke gray. And it's pretty soft. I kind of like it. It reminds me of the CO.JP Midnight Navy pair that I have. And then for the perforated toe box, quarter panel behind the swoosh as well as the top of the collar is made out of genuine leather in black. And it's definitely not like my Shadow 1.0s. It's a lot more stiff. It doesn't feel as nice because my Shadow 1s feel like butter.
Smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover.
On the lateral side of the ankle collar, there is the Classic Wings logo imprinted in black. And then moving back towards the front of the shoe, there is a black nylon tongue, and it's pretty well cushioned. And at the top of the tongue, there is a black tongue tag, and it says Nike Air with a swoosh embroidered on in a light shade of gray. So let's take a look at the right shoe. Here we have the right shoe, and I just noticed that there's no extra set of laces on these shoes. Usually it's hanging out on the right shoe or tucked inside the right shoe, but there's nothing here. And that's messed up because I know for a fact that the men's pair received an alternate set, and it's in that light smoke gray color, but there's nothing here, and usually there's no discrepancies between the men's pair and the GS pair when it comes to laces. So whatever the men's pair received, the GSIs would as well. Like we wouldn't get the accessory like the hang tag or the cool box, but we would always get the same set of laces. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. And it's not like I would switch it up and swap them out to rock the alternate set, because that's just not me. I'm more of the default laces type of girl, so whatever the shoe comes with, that's what I'm rocking. So these shoes come pre-laced or partially pre-laced with the cotton flat black laces. And so I guess I won't be doing this lace swap for my on-feet look. For the inside of the shoe, the sock liner as well as the insoles are black, and the Nike Air with the swoosh is imprinted on at the heel in the light smoke gray color. For the rubber midsole, it's in a really bright white color, and then for the outsole, it's completely murdered out, and like I always say, this is the best outsole silhouette in the game, and the Nike with the swoosh is embossed midfoot. So that was my review on my Shadow 2.0s. So let's take a look at my Shadow 1.0s to see some differences. This is the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG in the Shadow 1.0 colorway, or just Shadow 1's colorway. Like these weren't a 1.0 until the 2.0s came out, so I've always called these just the Shadow 1's. So for this video, these are gonna be Shadow 1's and these Shadow 2.0s, right? So I caught these on the sneakers app April 2018. So for these Shadow 1's, the color blocking is very similar to the Pine Toe 1's or the Royal Toe 1's or the Bread Toe 1's. And then for the 2.0s, the color blocking is very similar to the Chicago 1's or even the Storm Blue 1's. Another difference between the two shoes are the colors. So even though they're both gray, black, and white, they use different color grays. So for the Shadow 1's here, they are a medium gray, whereas the Shadow 2.0s, they are a light smoke gray. Regarding materials, for these Shadow 1's, the entire upper is made out of leather and it's super buttery, whereas the Shadow 2.0s, there's some nubuck as well as leather combined, and the leather quality is a lot more stiff compared to the Shadow 1's here. Another notable difference between the two shoes is that for these Shadow 1's, the lining is made out of mesh, whereas these, it feels like more of a sock liner instead. And then for the 2.0s, the insole is in black, whereas the Shadow 1's are in white. So that was my review for the Shadow 2.0s as well as comparing it to the Shadow 1's from 2018. So let me know in the comments which colorway you prefer and what are your thoughts of them using nubuck this time. It's really interesting, right, for a 2.0. Like for example, for the Pine Green 2.0s, they continue to stick with leather, but this time they just switched it up a little bit. And so for me personally, I like my Shadow 1's from 2018 a lot. It's in my top 5 rotation and I wear it all the time. As you can see, there's tons of crease marks, but I think it looks really good over time. And so hopefully these will too, and they break in a lot better because the leather's a little stiff. So if you ever get your hands on these or your feet in them, make sure you go choose the size and then hang tight because I'm gonna show you all what they look like on feet without the lace swap.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.